Hi, I'm Mike. Today I'm going to do a vinyl tag, quarantine edition, as per Dylan at Noble Records in North Carolina. That's in the USA. I'm going to do UK slant on this one. What he does is ask 20 questions about vinyl and vinyl collecting. So I'm going to go through them one by one. The first question is your favourite album from your home state or city? Well, I'm from Manchester in the UK, so there's been lots and lots of groups, and there still is. Groups like the Buzzcocks, the Falls, Joy Division, the Smiths, New Order, Stone Roses, Oasis. But the one I've gone for is Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures, the debut album. It came out 40 years ago last week. This is a reissue, and the second album, Closer, is actually getting a reissue next month as well. Question 2, highly recommended. I'm going for slight Manchester link here again, but the guy I've gone for was actually born in New Jersey before he moved to Philadelphia when he was a young man. He brought a couple of albums out on One Little Indian when he was in Philadelphia. He also played in the live band of War on Drugs before he came over to Manchester, where he did his trilogy, Manchester Trilogy. This is his last of the Manchester Trilogy. This came out about a month ago, and it's BC Camplight, shortly after takeoff. This is a signed copy on clear vinyl. The others in his trilogy were How to Die in the North, which just as it was about to be released, Brian, who's BC Camplight, took ill with an injured leg, and while he was injured his visa ran out, so Theresa May, the then Home Secretary, who went on to become Prime Minister, actually deported him. Luckily for Brian, he had Italian grandparents, so he got an Italian passport and he was allowed to come back. So his follow-up to that was an album called Deportation Blues, to have a bit of a go at Theresa May. But this is his latest one, shortly after takeoff. Question number 3, tips for beginners. What I'd say is, first of all, buy the records you know you like, so you keep going back to your record collection. Once you've got a collection, then take tips from other people and try and be adventurous looking at things. But once you've got that base of a collection, that's when you can start doing that. Question number 4, the first record that got you into deeper music. I was going to have the Some Bizarre album, which was early electronic, early synth from 1980. It featured the first tracks ever recorded by Depeche Mode, Blancmange, The, and it was a big influence on me. But I've been through, these are the records that I play a lot. I've been through here, I expected it to be in there, I can't see it. We've got a lot of 12 inches and 7-inch 45s in our music room in the loft, and we've got probably twice as many as these in our dining room. So I will find it, but I've not been able to find it today. So what I've done, I've gone for a different genre. I've gone for the psychedelic era from 65 to 68, and this album called Nuggets. A lot of people will know this. It's a double album. It features groups like the Electric Prunes, the Standells, 13th Floor Elevators, the Seeds, and it's a really good introduction into psych. An obscure record. The one I've picked is a band from Edinburgh in Scotland, and it's a post-punk album from 1981. It's not available on Spotify, but you can actually get it on YouTube if you search for it on there, the full album. This is Scars with Arthur. You do have to be careful because there's lots of groups called Scars or The Scars, but this group only brought the one album out, and this is it, Arthur. One of my favourite albums of all time. Number 6, a group you collect all albums by. I'm a massive David Bowie fan. I've got probably 200 albums, singles, CDs by Bowie. Number 7, the second album that's better than the first, better than the debut album. I've gone for Lou Reed. After he left the Velvet Underground, Lou Reed brought an album out called Lou Reed. But this is his follow-up to that. This is his second album. This was co-produced by David Bowie and Mick Ronson. Mick Ronson did the arranging on here, which things like Perfect Day, the arrangement on there is stunning. So there's Perfect Day, Walk on the Wild Side, Satellite of Love, Vicious. Satellite of Love has got the best backing vocals, in my opinion, on any record ever. Number 8, Whack-A-Mole. Pick a random record, so I'm just going anywhere there. And I picked Jacques Brel. It's number 6 in the series, Le Vieux. Jacques Brel's, he was a Belgian-born French chanson singer. Most of his songs are in French. You can hear the passion in his voice. If ever you see live singing, even though I don't understand the words, you can tell the passion that he's singing, and some beautiful music. Number 9, what album have you listened to the most? Being a big Bowie fan, it had to be a Bowie record, which is The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. As soon as you hear the drums starting off 5 years, that's it, I was hooked into it. I never got to see the Spiders play live because I was much too young. I did see Bowie about 13 times, and I've seen the drummer out of the Spiders from Mars, Woody Woodmansey. He's in a Bowie tribute act. It's wrong really to call him a tribute act because they're actual musicians who played with Bowie. The main ones in the band with him are Tony Visconti, who's Bowie's producer for years, but also the bassist on the Man Who Sold the World album. They actually played the Man Who Sold the World live, and they play Ziggy Stardust live, and it just sounds so raw and powerful when they do it live. An album with a crazy story. Again, I've gone Bowie here, but this is the last Bowie link in the 20 questions. And I've gone for Bowie's last album, Black Star. This version's on black vinyl. The crazy bit about this was my wife, for Christmas, pre-ordered me Black Star on CD and on clear vinyl, which we've got here. And the clear vinyl, which was the rarest of them, came with 3 lithographs. The lithographs and the CD came on the day, on release day, which as it should, but there was a delay with distribution for the clear vinyl. Got a message saying that it's ready to be shipped, but it'll be the next working day before this comes. And unfortunately, the next working day when we woke up, we found out that David Bowie had died. So this came a couple of hours after the news had broke that David Bowie had died. So even though it's worth a lot of money, because it's on clear vinyl, I've never been able to open it. I'm not sure I ever will. It means more to me than money does. Question number 11, your collecting pet peeve. I've actually got a couple of these. One of them is charity shops, or you call them thrift stores in the States. When you go and pick an album up and it looks a bit battered, you think, I might take a chance on that. How much is this? And what they've done, they've been on Discogs and they're putting it as if it's a mint condition copy. So it's the top end of the range. Totally overpriced. To be fair, they don't know what they're doing all the time. So they probably just had a look online and think, oh, we can get that for it. Not a chance you're going to pay top dollar for it. My other pet peeve is when you go in record shops and you can't actually flick through like this. You can't do this. They're all packed in, so you're trying to get to the records, you can't see what's in there. You have to take a pile out just to scroll through. Number 12, a record from the year you were born. I've actually got a couple of singles and an album here. The singles are both The Kinks. I was born in 1964. and these are about 64, All Day and All the Night, and You Really Got Me. And the album that came out in 64 that I've got is Dusty Springfield, A Girl Called Dusty. This is actually a repressing. This is a 1974 copy. On the original 64, it's a different picture on the front, but it's the same album. A record that may surprise people. The people who know me well, it won't surprise at all. But it's someone that I love his voice, and it's Nat King Cole. The reason I got into Nat King Cole was my dad used to play Nat King Cole all the time in the house. My dad's passed a while ago now. Probably his voice still reminds me of my dad. But I absolutely love his voice. I've got 36 albums by Nat King Cole, so I must like him. Included in the 36 are some of the Nat King Cole trio. Some songs he doesn't sing at all on, he just plays piano. Other songs he does sing. Moving on to number 14, show a 10-inch record. I've actually got to show a couple here because this one, my brother-in-law's actually got a track on this one. So it's down as Lost Children's Desk, and it's Twisted Nerves record, Christmas Stocking Filler Part 2. But the 10-inch single that I play the most, and this is my second copy of it because the first one mysteriously warped, but I think it was the way that was stored in it because I didn't have many 10 inches, where now I've got probably about 15. But this is Killing Joke, Follow the Leaders. And it's exactly how you'd expect Killing Joke, with the guitar and the bass, thumping bass. But with this, it's got like a dance beat behind it. And I've danced to this many times in nightclubs. Moving on to number 15, an interesting fact about a record. I'm actually going to go back to Lou Reed's Transformer. On Walk on the Wild Side, the bass line, probably the most famous bit of the song, apart from the questionable lyrics, is the bass line, which was done by a session musician at the time called Herbie Flowers. Herbie Flowers went on to be in groups like Sky, and he's been playing on lots and lots of records, including some novelty records in the UK, one called Grandad. But on Walk on the Wild Side, he played an upright double bass or acoustic bass to play the bass line, and they got a set fee for playing per instrument. So he actually asked, could he re-record it using electric bass? So he did use the electric bass, and the mix that you hear is both the bass lines being played by Herbie Flowers. But because he played two instruments, he got double fee. He got two session musicians' fees, which is good. Show an animal cover. I've gone for Beck here, Odelay, and it looks like a bale of hay. It doesn't look like an animal, but it's actually a Hungarian dog. It's called a Hungarian Commodore. I mean, the album's brilliant, as you probably know, but I've also been on Google having a look at the dogs, and there's some great pictures of the dogs. They look really cool. Crazy artwork. I've gone for an album here, but I've also got a bit of a story of a 12-inch by the same designers. The album is Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark, the debut album, Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark. This is on Din Disc label, but they used to be on Factory Records for the first single, Electricity, which is on there. And the link with Factory Records is it was designed by Ben Keller and Peter Saville. They went on to design the Hacienda nightclub for Factory Records, and Peter Saville also designed this by New Order, Blue Monday by New Order. This one's based on a floppy disk. But when this came out, it actually cost more to make these records, these 12-inch records for Blue Monday, than they were actually charging. But Factory, being a cool kind of label, thought, oh, we'll go with it. It's not much. But this went on to be the best-selling 12-inch single of all time. So it actually cost them quite a lot of money. Number 18. A good album you can find cheap. this one's got a price on it. It's a 1971 first press, very good condition, and it was priced at £3. So we've got this from a record shop, a second-hand record shop. It's on the Bell record label, and it's the Delphonics, by the Delphonics. The big single on here is "Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time?" It's lovely, lovely, funky song. It's the album on here, the tracks on here have been sampled many times by different hip hop artists and pop artists. It's really, really good. For the price, I definitely recommend you trying that out. Show an Acquired Taste record. I've gone for a Nico album. When Nico left the Velvet Underground, she had a solo album with John Cale doing the music, and it was called Chelsea Girl, which was very similar style to what she did in the Velvet Underground. Love Chelsea Girl. I probably prefer Chelsea Girl to this album, but the first time I listened to this album, it was a hard listen. It's tough. It's the Marble Index by Nico. It has grown on me over time. It's one of them that grows on you. And last year, my wife and some friends, we went to watch a play in Manchester, which was based on this record. It featured an actress called Maxine Peake. And to be honest, the play was as challenging as the first listen of the Marble Index. Quite a weird album. And finally, most recent find. I've not gone for the most recent purchase we've done, because during lockdown we've actually been targeting some records that are missing in our collection and pre-ordering other records. So what I've gone for is one that we took a chance on. We knew one track on it. We thought we'll try that to see if we like it. And it's The Undisputed Truth, Face to Face with the Truth. Now, The Undisputed Truth were a band got together by Norman Whitfield, who's wrote many songs. He used to write for the Temptations. He wrote things like Psychedelic Shack, and that's the kind of music that's on here. And what happened was Tamla Motown wasn't happy with the direction that the Temptations were going in. You know, the really funky, heavy sound that they had. They wanted more radio-friendly pop music. So Norman Whitfield started this group to play the funky music that he was doing. In it, on the back, he actually says, "I wanted a perfect cross between Sly and the Fifth Dimension, need I say more?" Which I think that absolutely sums them up. I mean, as you can see, it's a gatefold sleeve. In the middle, you can see what kind of dudes they are. These did the original version of Papa Was a Rolling Stone before the Temptations did it too. Definitely worth a listen. And that's my 20 questions answered. Thanks, Dylan, for the idea. I hope everything's going well with the record shop now you're back open. I'm subscribed to your channel and I watch every time you're on and get some tips. I actually watch your channel. If I see a record that I don't know that you recommend, I might give it a play on Spotify or YouTube, and then I might end up buying it. Alright, thanks a lot, Dylan. See you again. Bye.